Well, folks, welcome back. Our fifth edition Dungeons and Dragons Tuesday night game here. Picking up where we left off, our PCs did get a chance to gather their magical items and equipment they found and heal up and rest during their encounter here for a short rest. And got a chance to talk to our new elf friend. And what are we going to do? It's now getting later in the day. It's probably late-ish afternoon time, probably 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You see off on the horizon starting to get so cloudy. It looks like it could storm later today, or maybe this evening, maybe even storm.
Could I use Druidcraft to find out exactly what would happen?
Sure. Do you wish to do that?
Sure, it's a cantrip.
Yep. Um, and that gives you, to refresh my memory.
I I'll create a tiny, harmless sensory effect, just leaves rustling in the wind, or a cloud for rain or something, depending on what's gonna happen with the weather. And I'll predict the weather and my location for the next 24 hours.
All right. Um, you definitely see a storm coming this evening. Probably sometime over the night, probably about just after dark. It's going to start raining for quite some time. Probably within probably a couple hours of rain, and then it should clear up tomorrow. Be colder with the high precipitation chance.
Could I use my um survival check to find us some shelter?
Yeah, you're in a rocky crag. There's lots of different little overhangs and stuff that you could probably
Oh, that's a
find
good point. So,
an area to camp out if you guys wanted to.
alright.
Well, he said they were this way and the path leads that way with all the others we were hunting. So let's
Hmm. Yeah,
keep an
I'm
eye
thinking.
out, try and stay close. And if this rain does come, it may come at the perfect time to, as it's harder to hear people's footsteps with the rain falling.
Exactly. And the clouds will give us cover for sneaking into their camp if we have to.
Yeah, assuming that none of them have dark vision or anything.
Yeah, none of us do.
We'll still have to hide, but we'll have a little
I
bit of
do.
better sound.
Yes, yes. Remember how well you guys hid the last time.
Yeah, apparently it was the sneaky ones that gave it away, or the sneaky one that gave it away.
Yeah, yeah,
Are
exactly.
we
The
gonna camp
ranger.
tonight?
No, we're
I'm
not
thinking
camping
we
here
should
for
keep
the night
going.
yet. No.
All right.
All right, so you're gonna continue down the path. You're for the new player here. I keep forgetting your name, Miranda. No,
Muriel.
Muriel. Thank you, Muriel. Terrible with names. I apologize. Muriel sends her owl kind of off in the distance there. After you guys had told them that you had heard that their encampment was just up the road there. Um, and as the kind of owl flies off, you guys kind of head. You're kind of in a rocky crag, kind of hilly area. It was mostly grasslands till you got to this area. Now you're mostly in a tall cliffside, rocky, big piles of rock and rubble and just all kinds of different terrain features there that kind of in the path kind of zigzags almost like a snake up and down, left and right, and you're kind of weaving your way through this rocky crag. Is you travel about 20 minutes, and you kind of get up to the next rise of the hill, And you can actually see, and I'm going to send you guys a new map here. What looks like off in the distance here. Oh, there we go. Now what I need to do is give me a second, guys, here as I try to figure out what the best options are here. Yeah, I think what I'll do is, I think I'll do that. Okay. So let me share this with you here.
Ah, here it comes.
So
Yeah,
if
it's
you look
coming up
on the
for me.
map, you're kind of up over in this area, right over here, kind of on this this other rise, and you can kind of see down in this little gully here that's forming in front of you, and you can definitely see the outline of the camp. Now, the only reason I'm giving you all of this information is because basically Muriel is kind of describing the scene as her owl kind of flies overhead.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, you see here on the north west corner here, you see lots of little tents. Same thing here, just groups of different tents kind of scattered around the different areas. You see two large wooden structures here that look like, I'm going to put X's through them.
Mm-hmm.
They rise up about 40 feet up in the air. They look
Mm-hmm.
like watchtowers, lookout towers.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that there's obviously a huge cliffside between their little gully and the actual land is about 50 to 60 feet. If you see my 50-foot marker there, kind of in the middle of the map there.
Mm-hmm.
As your owl's kind of flying around overhead, you don't actually see a lot of activity going on in the town. Occasionally you'll see some movements of some creatures moving from one area to another area, but looks like most of the areas, most of the camp is pretty quiet at this point. You definitely see over here towards the watchtower, in the general direction you guys were coming, is represented by this arrow over here in the top left-hand corner.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the direction you guys are coming. And you definitely do see over here towards the entrance, you do see more movement over here, moving around and kind of standing guards, people standing around talking and this, that, and the other thing. But kind of over here in the whole back half of the map, where I put the big circle there, it's kind of pretty quiet actually. You do recognize over here, kind of in the back corner, you do see a big, large tent. Looks like obviously like a commander type post. You see lots of guards sitting pretty close to the tent. And you do notice kind of back over here in this corner, almost in the south. I'm going to kind of highlight it with the big circle, big darker circle. You notice that several big poles sticking out of the ground, and you see some people that are tied up to the poles, chained up to some of the poles there. So that's kind of, you guys, like I mentioned, you're kind of up on this rise over here. If you look at the little map, kind of
Right.
probably around
Looking
600-800 yards away. I mean, you're a good distance away. You can't see specifics or anything right now, other than what the owl can see. Um, but you're still in the Rocky Crag. Once you break through the Rocky Crag, kind of at this point here is mostly grasslands again, where the
Mm-hmm.
green is.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to this kind of lighter area, kind of yellowish almost, and that's kind of like one elevation level.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you have the white area here that's kind of dominates kind of the U shape, and that's kind of like another elevation. And then obviously you go down in elevation as you look into the camp.
Right.
So depending on where you're actually at, for example, if you look at the little map, I'll put a number 3 here on the map. So that's like basically like 100 feet high
Mm-hmm.
because there's like 2 elevation changes. If you're
Right.
back here, I'll put a number 4 kind of back here in the corner. That's basically only like 50 feet because you're only going down 1 elevation change. If that kind of makes sense-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what you see. You don't see a lot of
Okay.
activity going on in the camp. There is there is people. Obviously, you occasionally see somebody come out of a tent. There's regular monsters, kobolds that you've encountered. Um, and you see some of the cultists and some of the people that you're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Just by what Miranda kind of describes. I see somebody that looks like this. Oh yeah, that must be like a cultist that we had fought. Okay, and there's like a creature kind of hunched over. Oh, that must be a kobold. Stuff like that. But yeah, at this point you don't see a lot of activity. Probably you can just assume that they're probably all rested, resting and taking taking a snooze or whatever as they're, obviously they were up all night and then they were traveling all day as well. So probably just timeline between all your resting and everything, you're probably about 4 or 5 hours behind. They had probably gotten back maybe 4 or 5 hours ago.
Okay.
So if
Do we have a sense of how many there are?
Just from the descriptions of the owl flying around, she only sees maybe 10 or 15 here or there. But, like I said, she can't see inside tents and stuff. And there's, literally there's probably each tent on this map basically represents a pack of like 5 to 6 tents. So you can see there's probably a good 100 to 150 tents. So
Each tent probably big enough to hold several.
probably big enough. There's some smaller ones and there's some bigger ones. Yeah.
Well, it
Okay.
doesn't seem like they have such great security here. You could probably walk in if we don't act so conspicuous. We should try to catch something or bring in some food, like bring in a deer or something. Try to hunt something and then bring it in. And it might not even. We could just say that we were there and we went out to get food and we came back with food or something.
Yeah, it would probably help if we used the uniforms as disguise as well.
I don't know about that. Are there a lot of people in uniform? I mean,
From what Muriel, she doesn't recognize any of them that have uniforms. Just like
that might
one person that she saw that had a uniform.
that might just attract attention to us, and it would definitely lead to questioning.
Maybe. It might also, maybe the uniforms belong to those that are higher up, so we'll be able to command our way in as opposed to having to, be a little more
What happens
discreet.
if we come across the Landry goes to sea and Wrath? Yeah. Alright, well, I'm not in uniform. If you guys want to get killed.
there are going to be passwords, challenges.
I don't think it's going to be passwords. I think we just walk in with a deer or something. I think the guy was lying. I think you tell them the password, they'll probably kill you.
Yeah.
That guy was
I have a funny
Certainly.
feeling.
about just about everything.
Certainly, he was lying, but
Mm.
um, the place is too big for everyone to know everyone else.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The kind of security when you have that kind of situation is, halt. Who goes there? What's the password?
Hmm.
Or there's just no security and people are just going to and fro.
These are lawful evil. You tell me.
I don't know what they
Are they disorganized?
They might be.
Do they seem
Were they
disorganized?
disorganized in Greenest?
Not really. I mean, sort of. The kobolds were anyway.
I wasn't there.
Hmm.
They didn't really seem that organized.
Yeah, and yet, the commander, the half dragon, blue dragon guy, was
Point.
pretty much had pretty firm control over, everything that was going on there.
Alright, so my plan is to catch a deer and bring it in and say I just went out hunting. Or catch a rabbit or something.
Huh?
I
Worth a
mean, I
try.
can't stop you. I can say that's probably not a great idea.
You
But
better idea?
if that's his plan, my plan is to be away from him.
No, what's your
Um,
plan?
I with this aerial thing, I'm really focusing in on that area where people are tied up because we're not going to be able to ransack this whole place.
That's very true.
What are we here for?
Just, I guess we should probably try to release any prisoners we can.
Yeah, I don't
And
see how
recon.
we're going to walk in and get prisoners to get out.
Yeah, we know we
But, oh
sneak
yeah, to
or something.
If we can contact that monk dude,
But what about, I don't know how steep these cliffs are on the outside of this place, but if we can get around to the back side there, climb up top, and then work our way in close and drop down by ropes, I mean, they won't be watching the back door as
Or-
much anyway.
He said, I think it's about 100 feet up, though, at that area, isn't it? It's 3 is a little bit east of there, or west of there, I guess.
Yeah, you see, get my little marker out here again. You gotta have kind of level 1 over here, which is down lower than level 2.
But I'm thinking like, oops, I got the arrow pointing the wrong way. At the butt end of the arrow, that was where the posts are with the prisoners, right?
Yes.
At the
Yes,
back
where,
end of the
where
arrow,
the
not the
dark
front
where the
end, I
dark
presume.
arrow is, or the dark circle. Yes.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
cliff there is about 100 feet up.
No, it's about 40 to 50 feet.
Okay.
If you
So
guys
it's
are
like one-
standing, like, say, here on this edge here, it's going to be pretty much a straight drop down. I mean, there's like no slope.
Mhm.
You couldn't like walk down it or anything like that. I mean, it's pretty much a cliffside there, but it's only probably about 50 feet. 50 feet down.
Mhm. So I mean, yeah, we could theoretically, if we can get up there without being seen.
yeah, if we can get around to that area, even if we have to wait for nightfall, or at
Yeah,
least
and
dusk,
Hmm.
because there's that watchtower over there. Even though I don't think this would be their main area, they could, but then we could. I'm pretty good at climbing. I could get down that,
Hmm.
and I could have the, I'm light. I'm just a halfling. We could have a couple of you guys holding the rope up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because 50 feet of rope, that'll be enough rope to get me down.
I'm sure Balinor would make a good anchor for that.
The guy gave us his staff to show to the dude so we can,
Hmm.
look around. And because, like I said, I mean, we're just here to get information because we're not going to be able to slaughter all of these people.
Mm-hmm. Well, exactly.
Well, even if we
Oh.
get the prisoners untied,
Is that a
from their
wait?
posts,
Is that
what do
a
we
hole
do?
in the cave? Is there a cave in the back wall?
Yeah, what's by number 4? Is that a cave?
Well, at this point, you guys are way too far away to
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
We're 800 feet away from the entrance of this valley.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
we're
800 yards
getting
or
stuff from an aisle
600
out, so-
600 yards from the entrance, and that's another. Yeah, you're looking at like
Double that.
over a
Oh,
mile
no way.
away or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just we're using owl vision, so I was like, hey, wait a minute, I just noticed that.
Mhm.
So any objections to us trying to sneak around over there to wait till dusk and try and shimmy down?
Waiting till dusk, would that be 8 hours or 7 hours? Enough time for me to regain my druid spells?
We're talking about 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, it's
So
already 4 o'clock
long
in the
rest.
afternoon. By the time you wander over there, you're at least another hour away from there.
So, Merrick, the idea is that we'll be at the top. You'll shimmy down, talk to the people who are tied up to get information, and then just come back. Because I mean, what if we untie them? Then what? We can't really do anything unless
Well, we
they're.
should still be able to lift them out.
You think we could do that? Maybe
Oh, yeah,
we
we
could.
got
I don't know.
I think we got enough.
Well, the guy that we found who told us to find his leader
Yeah.
said that his leader got captured on purpose.
Yeah, so he might have a plan.
So
Okay.
it's to get information from him.
hmm
All
and
right.
what we can do with it, because we're
Well, who has rope?
supremely outnumbered here and probably even overpowered if it was similar numbers.
I'm
You
just
know.
thinking trying to get a bunch of people up a rope 50 feet is
We're
going
not
to be
going
really
to be able
hard.
to save these people. No.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to be clear.
We're going to learn the plan to eventually save these people.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. That I agree with totally. Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, that's good. I mean, if we can save them, we'll try to save them. If we can't, then we'll promise to come back later.
If they've been hung up to a stake for a while, I don't know if they would have the strength to climb a 50-foot rope. You would have to pull them up.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Remember, they just left the previous night, assuming that they're
Yeah,
captured
they've only
from-
been here like at most, well, plus being dragged along, right?
yeah, they
But,
got marched along from Greenest as in a slave caravan now to here, and then roped up.
I mean, they'll be.
But maybe, I mean,
messed up.
if I get closer, I can determine their health and see if they could strengthen into it.
Well, we also have that potion of flying too. I wonder if that would be of any use.
Ooh.
That's my. Oh crap! I got to get out of here without worrying about using the rope.
If that's the case, do we have any assurance that that's going to be enough to get you out?
Oh, the potion of flying? Oh yeah.
Okay, great. Okay.
Yeah.
I
And who all has rope? I have a length of rope.
Plus, I'm
I
a
have
pretty
rope.
good climber.
have 50
Okay.
feet.
I have 50
So I
feet
mean,
as
okay,
well.
so that gives us 3 lengths. So we could theoretically raise 3 people. Theoretically, depending on strength and weight of the prisoners, but theoretically raise 3 people out of the encampment. If it comes
At
to
a
it.
time, yeah.
Yes. It may be that we can only do 3, but before we get discovered.
Well, I'd be concerned that if we were discovered, with these people toward the top, does that imperil the people we're trying to save? If they fall or if they're shot or something. So I would just want to, yeah. So.
Well, we'll assess the situation first, and then we
Yeah.
can make,
Okay.
Yeah.
make that a decision, right? From
Okay.
this range, we're just guessing.
Okay.
And since we're an hour away from that area, I'd like to try and go even slower to increase our sneakiness
Fair enough. I agree with that.
because it's not quite dark yet.
Alright. The problem is if we get caught during the dark, it'll look a lot worse than just walking in there.
Yeah, true. What do you want? You can walk in the front door. We'll go around.
It's fine.
Only kidding.
Well,
Yeah, well, what's all right?
But-
So okay, so you get in the front door with the deer on your back. What's step 2?
how do we get back out?
Cook the deer, and then yeah, it's a good point. How do you get back out? All right, yeah, okay.
he just wants some deer. He's hungry.
Well, I need another
That's
deer.
what
I
it was,
fed
yeah.
all of these guys. I need another deer.
You know what? I'm
Too
just
many people,
let
not
all
enough
you
deer.
guys go down, and then I'll go down after you if you guys don't get captured.
Well, I
immediately.
think we're
Yeah,
only
I
letting
don't
it. We're
think
only dropping
anybody
Merrick
but
down.
me needs to go down at first, just in case.
Hmm
All right, good
I
point.
We need
Okay.
to be atop the
Yeah.
cliff and ready to cover him with
Exactly.
projectile weapons and spellfire.
Exactly.
Yeah, Muriel, do you have any spells that might help with this situation, like an invisibility spell or something?
Unfortunately, no, I do not. I am able to cast um chromatic orb, which, if done correctly, let me check the range on it. I may be able to start some fires at range in the camp.
That could help.
But that's the only thing that I can see in my list here that is going to be useful as a distraction.
Yeah.
Would you, if I were to wrap some cloth around arrowheads of my own, would you be able to do that finger thing and light them on fire in a pinch?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because I could probably, throw a couple arrows on some tents if we get into trouble, and that might provide a distraction as well.
Let's
Yeah,
set.
exactly. I can do the same thing. So yeah, that's a
I
good
could
idea.
do one more thing. It would take me a while, but I could probably find the guardians of this forest, the treants or whatever, and I could ask them to help us out. Probably won't work, and it would take a long time because I would have to find them first. But I could do that while you guys are doing stuff.
Uh, you all have really good ideas, and I like the discussion and everything. Just point of note, you're not really in a forest. You're in
No.
a rocky crag, and
Mhm.
mostly just grasslands around these rocky crags. So just keep that in mind. There are obviously there are a few trees here and there. It's not like it's barren, but it's not what you would call forest. There's little outcrops of trees here and there. If I don't know if that comes into play in your plan or anything, but
Mhm.
All the same, there's usually protectors of the land I can usually find as a druid, but to get them to help out is a whole nother matter. So
Mhm.
that's like a last resort.
Yeah, let's hope
Yeah.
it doesn't come down to
it's like an Avatar thing, right?
that.
Movie where
Yeah.
all the beasts take over the lands there. That would be
Mhm.
Hadn't seen it.
that'd be awesome. Oh, okay. Don't want to ruin anything for you. All right, so
been
from
out
what
long
I
enough.
understand is it is now assuming you see the clouds are coming. And so they're
Alright.
covering the clouds or they're covering the sun. So you can't really tell, but you can tell it's getting late afternoon. You
Yeah.
got that little haze it's coming with the clouds.
Perfect.
Um,
Time to get
you
moving.
do see off in the distance because you're on the top of like one of the hills. You see obviously dark clouds approaching from the east there.
Well, if we're not already on our way, I would suggest that we start going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, so how exactly do you wish to go?
In terms of marching order or on your little map?
Yeah, on my little map, what's your game plan?
Well,
I see the different colored areas. I'm not 100% sure about them, but whichever area gives us the most cover to get to that area, I'm good at climbing. I can keep getting down, but then I would like to have somebody down there with me if I'm up 2 levels. Or way 2 levels.
Well, if you're looking at the small map in the lower left,
Mhm.
and there's that white, on the on the southwest line of the bluff, there's
Mhm.
that big white area, kind of looks like a cloud. Yeah, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking that's all pretty much plains, I think you said, right?
So basically, think of it this way. This light green is level 0. All
Okay.
right. So, and then you have this. Oh, I can't draw 5. It's hard to do circles. 50. So you have the light.
This is 50 up.
It's 50 up, and then
Okay.
the white would be 100 up.
Got it. But that's all kind of grassy.
No, the green is grassy. The white and the light gray is kind of rocky.
That's the rocky part.
Yeah.
Does that
Mhm.
provide us with a fair amount of cover then too, the rocky part, or is it pretty flat?
Well, any if character A was standing right here, okay,
Uh-huh.
where I just drew the A,
Mm-hmm.
he wouldn't have line of sight, past that because this is 50 feet higher than he is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys, came around this way, unless there was somebody down in here, they're not going to be able to see you from anywhere in the camp.
Yeah. Okay. That's what
Cool.
I would suggest doing exactly that. In fact, what he has drawn there.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, because
That's
I
exactly-
misunderstood. So that's cool. I like how you got that there.
Mhm.
So I thought that was 50 down, 100 down, and then 150 down. I didn't know there was an up and then back down.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I didn't get that either. So that I like that idea of
Yes.
not running along the edge of the bluff, but coming at it.
Yeah, their
From
camp is
below.
like embedded inside. This whole area here is basically inside a rocky depression,
Gully.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A box canyon.
A
When you
gully.
think about it, it's a pretty crappy location. I mean, if an army wanted to, they could just surround this place and just bombard it with cannon with
Mhm.
Yeah, it's an
Well, I'm glad
ambusher's
they
dream. Yeah.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
I'm going to put it on pause just for a second here, okay?
Sure.
All right, sorry about that, guys.
Hey, no problem. Sounds exciting.
Yeah. Right. I hope it works out.
Yeah. So yeah, we're back. So basically, yeah, if you're you're right. It's maybe not the best location, but it is out of sight, out of mind.
Oh yeah.
Unless you're coming this way, you're not going to be able to see anybody or anything.
Mhm.
Obviously,
Exactly.
you could be walking right over here, and
That's a
not
good
even
point.
know that they're there. But
Mhm.
so I'm taking it you guys are just going to try and mosey down this way, kind of
Yep.
following the little arrows here.
Yep.
All right. Why don't you guys go ahead and give me a. Well, let's see. Go ahead and give me a stealth check. I'll let you guys do it with advantage as well
In
because
the
you guys
tower,
are.
Okay.
or
I'm sorry.
in the tower, or out of the tower?
I still didn't understand what you said. Sorry.
In the tower.
In the tower
Yeah.
or visible?
Oh, visible's fine.
Ooh.
Still. How do I do a stealth check?
Go to skills
tab.
on your yeah.
Yeah, and then
You can
And
either
then
double
see where
click
the-
the thing or you can drag it over and drop the dice in the.
But in the
But-
bottom left, there's an ADV for advantage that you need to click the button on. It'll turn red.
And then roll after that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
And-
see an advantage.
It's
On
right
the
Okay,
there.
lower
I see
left.
it.
Side, you see
Okay,
something says
advantage, I see it.
mod, and then double click where the plus is for your stealth.
You'll either have a 0 or a plus or maybe
Okay.
a minus.
No, I have it. And then
Okay.
do what?
Just double click on it.
On what?
So I'm looking at his sheet. Let me help him out. So you see stealth there.
Yep.
You see it says +2 there.
Yes.
So you can you see the little dice next to it. So you can either left click and drag that dice, grab it, and you'll see the dice in your hand. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Or simpler, you can just click where it says +2 and it'll just automatically roll for you. Either way. I like dropping it, but other people like just clicking it. But all right, so you make it through stealthily. You don't really come across anything. You do see as you're kind of making your way down the track here. Let me gonna have to keep clearing this out here. As you're kind of making your way down, trying to be stealthy and quiet here. You do see some trails, some tracks leading in. Once you get around the corner here, you don't really come across anything of, any signs of travel or movement or anything. And you eventually make it up over into this area right here. And it's getting a little bit darker now. It's not, it's not dark. It's just darkness because of the clouds coming in.
Right.
You could probably assume that probably within an hour, maybe two, it's going to be raining, and it is going to be a lot darker.
Perfect. That's what we want. Rain will help cover us. Okay, and I will try to scout ahead a little bit too and keep an eye out for the best routes to stay out of sight.
Okay, so you guys have made it over here
Okay.
to this. I can't show you on the big map because the big map only covers kind of the inside part of it.
Yeah.
So you just have this rocky upcrop to walk across to get over to, kind of over here on this edge over here. So you're probably about
I'm gonna try and scout the
you're
best.
about 150 feet away from just walking over there. I don't know if you wanted to go over there now in the daylight or if you wanted to wait or what.
Well, how light is it?
Wait for more cover because it's gonna be easy to see, just like people standing on the top of the cliffs above you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's bushes around and there's some tall grass and stuff. I mean, you could crawl up there if you really needed to, but
I would suggest that someone with woodland skills, perhaps the ranger, might crawl through the bushes and directly observe. But I can also have the owl, rather than fly, just flit to the edge and look over and check. She sees very well in both day and night conditions. Rather than flying and attracting attention, just flitting from rock to bush to boulder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea. And,
that works sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I was going to try and scout the best route, trying to stay as invisible as possible.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay.
So we should be able to observe the base of the cliff and see what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be looking at that spell just so I can see. Okay, one thing to keep in mind, your familiar must be within 100 feet of you for you to communicate with it.
Right.
And also, as an action, you can see through your familiar's eyes and hear what it hears. So it would only be able to do this within 100 feet of you, actually.
Yep. Well, to see through its eyes, what it can do is it can still communicate with me. It can go scout ahead and come back and tell me things. But you're right. In order for me to see through its eyes, it has to be close. So we're going to have to be crawling up through the bushes and whatnot. At least I am.
Yeah.
Well, I think he said there were bushes and cover, so
I think if we're careful, we should be able to find a way to get it as close as possible without being, actually going right over the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Valinor follows along.
If you guys are good with that, and then wait for the darkness to fall before we get right to the edge.
Strongly agree.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, so you're going to crawl up there now?
Mm-hmm. Partially up there. We're not going to go right over to the edge until darkness is completely fallen, but it would be easier to find a path while we can actually see it, right?
Yes.
Not complete darkness, but I need dusk because I guess I'm the only one without dark vision.
Halflings don't have dark vision, huh?
No, they don't.
Okay.
No, well, humans don't either, and I'm a human.
Oh.
One thing,
I
do keep in
smell.
mind that this watchtower is also going to be at the same level as you, because it's it's on the upper level ish, but because it is 30, 40 feet tall, it is going to be approximately at the same height as you guys. In fact, as you kind of come up to the top of this little ravine here, as you're approaching it, you can see through the grass and through the few bushes and stuff, you can see the actual watchtower, and you see that there is a couple people inside the watchtower. Now, they're not really doing much other than just standing around talking or whatever. They're just kind of just moseying around. I mean, they're not like...
Well, and in theory, they should actually be looking the other way, not toward us. In theory.
Well, I mean...
I know.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's one of the reasons we were going to wait for dusk. But yeah, they could, like you said, this is the perfect ambush spot. So they're probably aware of that somewhat to also be looking at the ridges. Whether they do so as much as they're told to or not is another. But that's one of the other reasons to wait till dusk, because that seems to be a decent bit away.
Yeah.
Enough that dusk could help.
Yeah.
You guys should see where is the... Let me just make sure. Down at the very bottom of the map, there is this kind of a grid for yardage there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically an inch is like 100 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically an inch. So basically,
Yeah, and remember, dark vision only sees 60 feet, right?
That's 500, maybe 600 feet away.
Right.
Well, I mean, if we know about the guard tower, maybe we should just try to take it. The downside is that someone might overhear us fighting.
Unless we can find a way to take it really quietly.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, if this guy has a plan, we would prefer to have gotten in and out without anybody noticing anyone's gotten in and out.
Yeah, we don't want to screw up his plan.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Because eventually they're going to change the guards in that tower and notice that there's two dead bodies or either nobody there. However we end up doing it.
Yeah. Valinor's screams of pain might wake up the 10 people. So
good point.
It's just
that's a good idea. If we end up needing to attack the place, we would definitely go and hit that watchtower first, so they wouldn't be able to do some sort of warning to everybody, and then we could sneak and hit 110 at a time.
Okay, so you're gonna wait till dusk then? A couple more hours, just kind of holding steady, kind of back off the edge there, about 100 feet or so, and just wait and see what happens. Occasionally, you hear some noise down there, somebody yelling at somebody, and somebody, doing something down there, chopping wood or whatever.
Yeah, if the owl can get us any kind of information about patterns or anything else, that'd be nice.
That's what I was going to suggest. Let me back off from the edge say 90 feet or so and find good concealment. And then I can have the owl like traverse the edge there and, keep watch. And as you say, try to find out what the pattern of activity, what are people doing.
Okay. Um, so as you're waiting for darkness or duskish to come, it is now it's getting there closely as the darker clouds come in, and slight, a few raindrops start falling here and there. Your owl kind of over here on the edge. You peer down, kind of looking around and stuff. Again, you don't see much movement. Occasionally, let me clear off some of this stuff on the actual map here. It might be easier to talk about.
Well, you mentioned that there are people tied up to stakes. I don't know who we're looking for, so I can't. All I can do is like relay a description to the others.
Yep.
I don't know if we got much of a description of who we're looking for.
Yeah.
You
We're
say
looking for a monk-looking character.
Yeah, older monk.
Half elf monk, right?
Can the owl tell us how many people are
Yes.
on stakes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I was going to tell you is, as you're kind of wading through to get a little bit darker here, it's just it's not dark, it's not light, it's kind of middle of the road as the clouds come in, covering the sun. So it would be what you would normally see. You see down here in the little gully down here, probably 6 different people tied up to the stakes, and you can see that the stakes, and I'm just going to assume that Marielle kind of just describes everything she sees, okay?
Yeah, to the best of my ability, yes.
All right. You see that they're kind of wood stakes about 8 feet tall. You see up at the top they got a metal loop, and then you see the chains kind of go up from one hand through the loop down to the other one. You see basically all 6 of the people kind of just sitting on the ground, not doing anything, kind of just shivering and shaking and stuff. You see 3 males and 3 females, actually. Most of them are dressed like what you would see a commoner type person with just normal clothes and stuff. And you do notice that one of them is kind of more hunched over, and occasionally he rolls over on his side or something. You can tell that he's been severely beaten. He's got lots of wounds. He's doesn't look like he's in good shape at all. Basically, is what you see. He's got cuts on his face. Is bleeding out of his mouth. Kind of just all raggedy, and all of this rain's falling down is kind of making a little bit of a puddle down here that they're all sitting in with wet mud. You notice that besides that, there's very little activity going on in the camp. Like you say, occasionally, somebody will come out of their tent, kind of come over here, look around, walk around. This person might, come out of their tent, but you don't see a lot of activity going on right now.
Cool.
You do notice that over in this area here, level 2, or not level 2, spot number 2, basically, you notice a very nice quality tent. Obviously, a commander or somebody in charge. It's very large. It's probably a good 40 by 40 size tent. You see several guards standing outside the tent.
Yeah, that's evil blue dude, I'm pretty
Let's
sure.
stay away from there.
Yeah.
That's Gaddafi.
Far away.
All right.
But you're just from the owl just watching, and as you're, this is, 30 minutes to an hour as you're watching and just kind of telling them what you see and everything. You don't see a lot of activity. You don't see anybody, upset. Nobody's nervous. Nobody seems to be,
And there's not a lot of like patrols and
You don't see any
checking of things.
patrols. You don't see any guards walking around the camp or anything like that. You do notice that mostly everybody in the camp that you see, kind of in this back area where the owl's looking, is mostly of the humanoid races: elves, dwarves, um, humans. You don't see many like monster type characters, other than you do notice a couple of um, the um, the dragon kind that are kind of moseying around, but they're kind of like dragonborn, but kind of the monstrous type of dragonborn.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll
maybe
describe all of
And you
this.
do actually notice with the owl that there is a cave entrance back here. It is back in the corner. It does look to be a cave entrance, and you can see that there is like 2 guards out front of that as well. And you don't see anybody going in and out of that for the hour or so that you had watching things going on here in the camp.
Treasury.
Um,
We
I
don't
asked-
see a lot of wagons, do we?
You see a couple carts and wagons up over in this area over here, kind of in the north section.
Okay.
Cool. I asked Ziev, that good berry. Could you make me a handful of good berries?
Could you not eat all of them at once?
I'm not going to eat all of them at once. What I'm going to do is I'm going to feed
What's
them
wrong
to
with
the
that?
prisoners.
All right, in that case, I
Oh,
will make
good
you.
idea.
Let's
Imagine my
see.
small batch.
I'm debating whether I should use 2 steps and give you 20. I don't know. How
Oh no. Just the normal. I don't want you to waste 2 slots on it.
All right, I'll just make you 10.
Perfect.
Okay. So it is now officially dusk. The rain is still lightly raining. It is thick, heavy clouds above you. It's coming down.
Might help.
Just it's not coming down heavy. It's not coming down even medium. It's kind of just a lightish. It's like one of those rains that's just gonna just fall for a couple hours and then go away type thing.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well,
While we've
But
been
that's
waiting, I'm
cover
going to
we're
knot up 2 coils of rope to help in climbing.
Okay.
Knots about
Mm.
3 feet apart, and join them so that you'll have the knots are going to take up about half the length. So you're going to have like 70 or so feet of rope, but it'll be knotted for
You
climbing.
can't do any of this.
I can't. Okay.
No, you're busy sitting there with your eyes closed so you can watch
Yeah,
through
true.
your owl.
Can't do any of that. Okay.
I can do
I'll-
that. I can do that.
But you can, you can absolutely say,
suggest-
hey, yeah, there you go, there you go,
All right.
perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
This is gonna have to stay up here if everybody does end up going down. I can't turn into a bear, and I already used up 2 spell slots because one of us has to stay up and pull people
Yeah.
up anyway.
Yeah.
I figure it's best if you all stay up there, and if it goes wrong, I will be joining you up there instead of wanting you guys
Yeah.
to come down.
And then we will
I
be
feel like-
running fast. Yes.
Yeah.
I can provide cover with firebolt
and I
and
can provide cover
with-
with my arrows.
with arrows. So
Yeah.
You do notice that where the main group of people, prisoners, whatever you want to call them, is probably about 40 to 50 feet away from the groups of tents here.
Okay.
Mhm.
So if you're very stealthy, you should be able to get away with this.
That's my hope.
All right.
And I don't want to come down right behind them. I'd rather come down a little bit away because, passersby or whatever are probably going to look at the prisoners and will notice somebody on the cliffs directly behind the prisoners.
well,
So I'd like to be a little bit away.
someone suggested preparing fire arrows.
I wouldn't light them up yet, but maybe
No.
the
No,
cloth
that's
part.
that's why we
Yeah.
need the hand thing. Yeah.
Well, you do notice. Good point.
So
I was going
somewhere
to
around
mention
here,
this
maybe.
earlier, but you do notice that a couple of the people who come out of the tents and kind of lit a few fires around. You see some few places on the wall that have torches that they've lit up. You see some area, couple of the areas around the watchtower have got some torches up in the watchtower as well. Over here's a little campfire as well.
Uh-huh.
So there's a little bit of movement going on, but nothing, drastic or.
All right, it's time to call in the owl. I'm going to bring her back to me, and then send her to her resting place out of this dimension.
Okay.
Okay.
So she doesn't get hurt.
She's completely protected now. We're going to have to stealth up to the edge and be ready to back his play. Somebody's going to have to belay him down, etc.
Yep.
All right, you guys want to give me a stealth check as you slide over to the edge? Now, before you roll, so I just need to. I know that Merrick had said he didn't want to go directly down, say here. Where are you guys planning on going?
I would like
Pardon me.
to go. I would, depending on where the torches are on the wall, I'd prefer to be somewhere around here.
Okay. So you want to go basically down in this area? Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
But that's assuming there are no torches there, right? So is that a darkened area or?
Yeah, I mean it is kind of darkish anywhere. A torch is only going to, give you 30 feet anyway, so.
Okay. Okay.
That gives the rope and everything the best cover from the tent and from the watchtower, and enough off of the prisoners to where if they just decide to directly glance at the prisoners, it should be in the periphery somewhat. But with the campfires.
All right, if you guys want to give me an advantage roll on those stealth checks again.
Okay. And
Advantage?
stealth
Okay.
in the tower. I don't like that laugh.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not in good shape.
What?
Oh, for crying out loud.
God. We all did awful.
I can't believe with advantage, there's two of us got 5.
Wait,
And
be
he
quiet
started
now.
He
What?
started laughing at my roll that was hidden. So this is not good.
Uh-huh.
So,
I'm not going down, so I guess I don't have to make the roll.
Well,
No,
it doesn't
we're-
matter. We're
Just start running
through
now.
the rocks. We have
Yeah.
stealth.
Wait, so this is not to go down. This is just.
This is to get to the cliff face.
get to the cliff
Not
face and
anybody going down yet.
Okay, fine. I guess I'll roll then. Not that it really matters.
We might need another success if you can pull it off.
okay.
That's our best roll, it appears.
Looks that way, doesn't it? So yeah, you kind of get up to the edge there of the cliff and start lowering your ropes down, and yep.
Well, are
What
we
else?
lowering all three, or are we just
I don't know.
lowering?
What are you lowering?
Just one.
Just
one
Merrick,
right
right?
now.
So
Just the one right now. And since it is raining, I would like to use a rope.
yeah,
for help.
Eleanor can handle the top part of that by, sitting on the ground with 2 feet in front of him against rocks, and then running the rope around his back and letting him down.
Yeah, belay him down.
Yeah.
All right. So you're just gonna lower him down then. So as opposed to him climbing down the rope, you're just gonna lower him down on the rope.
Yeah, that's generally going to be quieter.
All right. Give me a Bellinor. Give me a strength check with advantage.
Okay, and if I hear screaming, I'm going to start pulling on the rope. Okay, so strength check, you said.
Strength. Yeah, this is going to be a saving throw, so you should get your advantage or your bonus, your ring
Oh,
bonus
let me
there.
check and see if that's on. It is. Okay, thank you. So it's a strength saving throw
Yep, with advantage.
with advantage. Bam. Ooh.
Ooh,
Whoa.
natural 20. All right.
Oh, there you go.
So
Well,
he lowers you down off the cliff there really quickly, and you just ploop, plop down on the ground there. You can see um, probably 30 tents, within 100 feet of you now, and you don't see much movement going on. You can see the prisoners kind of over there, off in the distance. You see three males, three females chained up. There's more there's more poles than obviously what you have prisoners
Okay.
wise.
hmm
Um, so what do you want to do?
I listen for anything as I sneak as quietly and as softly as I can over to the prisoners. And if I see any of the prisoners looking at me, I do like the finger over the mouth.
Okay. Yeah, they obviously see you, kind of slurping over through the mud puddles their way. Um, in fact, one of them kind of taps the fellow that's kind of laying on the ground, and he kind of lifts his head up. And as soon as he does, he kind of big eyes, where he just opens them really wide, and he starts shaking his head back and forth in the from left to right, giving you the no, do not do this look.
Okay.
And we're going to find out next week what all that means,
Oh,
folks.
no,
Ladies
no,
and
no,
gentlemen, we're going
no.
to have to bring this episode to a close as our time for Tuesday has come to a close. Unfortunately, we have to wait another week to find out exactly what's going on here in the evil camp of death and destruction. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to let our PCs know what a great job they're doing, and we'll see you next Tuesday as we continue our Horde of the Dragon Queen adventure.